I wonder, who wrote the book of love?
So I think we all have the same thing on our minds. James Franco. No? You guys don't have him on your mind? That's just me? I'm a huge fan of Mr. Franco's. I first developed a crush on him when he appeared in the show Freaks and Geeks. If you don't know what Freaks and Geeks is, you need to turn the vlog off, get dressed, get out of your house, into your car, drive down to your local movie and music shop, and pick it up. So my affections for the dude run very deep, obviously. And there's two reasons why he's been on my mind. The first reason, I recently went to go see 127 Hours, which stars James Franco. It is based on a true story about Aaron Ralston, and the really brief synopsis of this is that he went out for a really long hike, managed to get himself stuck between this crevice with this big boulder on his arm. He was down there for 127 hours before he cut his own arm off and managed to escape. Now, I thought the movie was bloody brilliant. And it's not just because I'm an avid Franco fan, but it's also because this is a true story. This dude cut off his own arm to live. And I really think it's amazing what humans are capable of doing when put into certain situations. And it's not just me that thinks James Franco did a stellar job in this movie. The whole Academy does, because he's up for an Oscar this year. This really was a one-man show, and the fact that he could pull you in and carry you through the movie was simply astounding. There were some cringeworthy parts, especially when he cut off his own arm. And I kind of thought it was funny because everybody in the theater gasped when he did this, but I kind of thought that that's what the whole movie was centered around, so I figured that's why everyone was there. Maybe some of them didn't know what the story was about and only went because they were hoping to see James Franco without a shirt on. But I think the most important part about the movie was that it really teaches you a few things. Like, if you're gonna go for a ridiculously long hike, you should probably let somebody know where you're going and when you're gonna come back. You should also bring a phone and a big enough knife so it's easier to cut through your arm instead of a little penknife. And the most important thing I learned from the movie was, don't waste the good piss. I know what you're probably thinking. There's good piss? Well, there is. In the movie, he ran out of water and he had to drink his own pee. But by the time he got around to saving his pee in his camel pack, he'd already urinated twice. He wasted the good pee. The pee that wasn't so strong and disgusting. So if you end up in one of these situations, make sure you save the good pee. It'll be easier to drink, I think. Of course, I'm not delusional, and I know that if I was stuck in a cavern and my arm was trapped in a boulder, I probably wouldn't be able to cut off my arm. And I don't think I'd last 127 hours. I think 127 minutes would be stretching it. So even though James Franco was amazing in the film, I think that Aaron Ralston deserves a head nod for doing what he did. And the second reason he's been on my mind is that he is hosting the Oscars. He is co-hosting it with another actress. I think her name's Anne Hathaway or something like that. I totally know who she is. I'm just jealous of that lucky bitch. Some people might be surprised that James Franco is hosting. I, on the other hand, am not. This guy has been everywhere lately, and he's been doing everything. If he's not starring in a blockbuster film, then he's making a cameo in one, which was a nice little treat when I went to go see Green Hornet, I must say. And on top of his regular acting career, the guy never sleeps. He writes, he directs, he paints. If you don't love him for the cover of the Candy magazine that he did, you know, the one where he's dressed in drag, then you have to love him for the fact that he appeared on General Hospital only because he wanted to. And he writes. He's a writer. And if all of that still isn't enough to make your heart ache for him, then watch some of his movies, like Milk and Pineapple Express, and fall in love with the kid. And if his past performances aren't drawing you in, well, maybe one of the 7 films he has coming out in the future will do the trick. Unlike a lot of people, I look forward to the Oscars. I like watching the red carpet, and I love the opening bit and the musical number. So now you guys know what I have on my mind. I only have 2 regular features for you today. The first one is the weird crap around my house. When I was young, my mom used to read to me, and one of the books that she always used to read was called Rikki Tikki Tavi. Now, when I bring this book up to other people, they never really know about it. Now, the story is about a mongoose who lives with his family, and he's trying to protect it from this snake that keeps trying to sneak in and get to the family. I loved the story when I was a kid, and recently I decided to take a look and see if it was on Amazon, and guess what? It was! So I picked it up off of Amazon for like $5, and then when I got it, I read it, and it was like a little wave of nostalgia. And look at that face. Ain't he cute? And so for our Urban Dictionary find, I thought that I would get a little clever. What an Oscar means to Urban Dictionary. It seems there's a little bit of conflicting information on Urban Dictionary in regards to what Oscar is. One of the definitions is that Oscar is a really smooth dude. He's that cool guy that all the girls would want to be with, but he's really nice too. Any girl would be lucky to get an Oscar. And the other definition of an Oscar is an ounce. Usually an ounce of weed. So I guess you have to decide what you think an Oscar is. I always thought it was a grouch in a garbage can, but what do I know? Well, that's it for this week, and I hope that you guys enjoy the Oscars, and if you guys haven't checked out Freaks and Geeks like I told you to, you best be checking it out. And I hope to see you all here next week for That Girl Tyson.
General quarters, all hands man your battle stations, all hands man your battle stations.